to wait for a drum solo this week.
Oh no!
I was ready for it. I was like, is he going to do it? Is he going to start going for it? Is he going to start doing the tap?
I was too engrossed in thinking, how does Harris Heller come up with all this music?
All by himself.
All by himself.
That is like the secret. He's like, yeah, I'll give you X memo. He's like, but you have to say I wrote it. It's like it's like all the Elvis stories with what is that Colonel Sanders?
Oh, yeah.
What was it, Colonel Sanders?
Parker.
And his 13 Colonel Parker and his 11 herbs and spices.
Yes.
Did you ever see that movie?
I started watching it on the plane. I think when we went to Europe 2 years ago. I can't remember if I've watched something before that or I was looking and I saw that and I started getting tired. I turned it on and I just remember, especially like in that 35,000 feet delirium of sleep, just thinking this is kind of weird right now, and it was definitely a little different. But so I started. I never got back to it.
Got back to it. Well, thankfully, hopefully, you all have gotten back to us because it's Thursday evening once again. It is time for some About Beverages podcasting. I'm Andrew,
and I'm Keith.
And I know I don't have the blue light on. I'll just get it later.
Oh, let's get it going.
Yeah, well, now it's too late. Now, as soon as you're any kind of late, it's more work.
I always any kind of late.
Yeah, well, because no matter what, I have to download the first part of the show again.
Yeah, the first part.
It's the gold right there. It was gold right there.
We didn't have anything that great.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
You could just edit it in. Stick figures.
I could
draw stick figures.
I could just ask Gemini to AI generate the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
Please, with the two men that you see in this video I have given to you, add 15 seconds of banter.
Yeah. Go back and listen to reference all of their previous shows.
Yeah, exactly.
And, come up with something.
Learn all of their previous shows. Find what we would have said.
What would they have said?
Sadly, it probably could figure out how to do it or something. But yeah, it is time for some usual beverage podcasting fun. We've got two things for you this evening.
Only two.
One of them, because it is like almost like the amount of two. That's why I kind of cut it down. I wanted to be able to fully enjoy it and not feel like we had to rush or have some.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
And then we've got a cocktail, which we'll also try the syrup as well before we have it, because I've never actually had orgeat or /almond syrup before. It's probably been slipped into a cocktail at some point, but I have never, that I am aware of. Ever
keep your orgeat on them.
keep
your orgy to yourself.
Keep your orgy to yourself.
Orgeat. Do we know? Keep your orgasm to your. Wait, no, that's not.
That's not it. That is a drink, but that's not. That's isn't it orgeat?
I thought orgeat, but I could be wrong.
Okay, it could be French.
Could be wrong. It could be orgeat.
I don't know.
Orgeat?
Should we look it up live on the air and then I'll grab the first beverage? Let's see what it says. Let's see what it says. I should have actually put pronounced in front of that. Baker, good evening to you, About Beverages Brothers.
Hello,
Great
Baker.
to see you. Great to see you as well. Let's see. PRONOUNCED. Pronounce. Orgeat. Okay.
Is it going to say it?
I think if we.
Orgeat.
Orgeat.
Wait, I don't even hear the T at the end. Did you?
Orgeat.
Orgeat.
Well, but if you look at the pronunciation, though, their T is there.
Orgeat.
Do it slow. This is weird.
Orgeat.
Oh, there's the T.
It's very.
It's very. Unless you take your time and do it slow, like Salt and Pepper would say. You don't hear the T.
Orgeat.
Orgeat. Shot.
There we go. So we're going to have some of that.
Some orgeat.
At some point. But we are going to start with something from the brewery. Dear Lord, did I actually make it? I did put a thing for this. I'm so out of it because I did it actually very late Thursday night. I got it done. But it is this right here. The Bruery Terreux, Frucht, grapefruit, and salt. It is a Berlin-style tart ale, I believe is technically what it is called. Fruited Berliner Weiss, also they say on Untapped.
Fruited. Berlin, aged in oak.
And styrofoam kegs.
Footers?
Footers.
Oak footers.
Why are we starting off with so many words?
Why do I have to pronounce
this? This is the worst ever.
With grapefruit
we have chosen
and
poorly. I like your shirt, Keith.
Well, I chose it because, the Cubs are doing well. Also red, white, and blue. Tomorrow's 4th of July.
Yeah.
That's, talk about previous times.
Let's talk about other times when we actually were happy to be here in this country. All right. I'm going to go grab the beverage.
But yes, and that's hard to believe. This is 9 years ago that these great things happened to the Cubs, but the Cubs are having a good year. Got a text from the Maryland cousin.
Oh, okay.
today. And he mentioned that he's like, you must be excited. Your cubbies are doing well. I said, they are. And I am.
I am. 4% ABV. This one is from 2019. They do not make this anymore.
Okay.
It is possible that I actually got this at the brewery, or we may have bought it here. We couldn't also figure that out as
We
well.
couldn't figure it out.
But since it is a sour tart ale, these usually do age pretty well. I'm assuming
Yeah.
you've actually had this probably in the fridge, knowing
Yes.
you.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, so
Knowing
this
me,
is,
knowing you.
yeah. Speaking of songs, no,
Yeah.
you just lead right into it as we enjoy our beverage here.
But yeah,
A musically inclined beverage.
I remember, yeah, because weren't there others like that
There
were maybe
was.
like raspberry?
Oh, yeah.
Or, okay. All
Yeah,
right,
there was a
yeah,
bunch of them. I
yeah.
remember at one point, like I said, when I had picked them up and had gotten some, like I said, I had picked up an order, and like I said, I know HJ and I had bought like several different varieties of these. But like you said, there was a raspberry, there might have been like a blueberry or a boysenberry or something
Yeah.
like that, some other ones. And it was, these tart sour ales.
Back when Pocket would have the occasional beer or split a beer or turn it into a beer slushy. I thought, ooh, this would be a good one to have on hand, but she doesn't really do that anymore. So in continuation of the digging into the beer archives. Right. Now I thought, and this probably won't qualify, last year's celebration ale. We probably don't want to do that, do we? Just not even a year old.
Last year's celebration ale. Oh God.
I thought about that
that's
as
too young.
as a funny sort of sidebar, but
that is too new.
It's too
right.
new. Yeah, it has to be at least or a soda from 2018 or 19 too.
Exactly.
Oh, that's I do have one cream soda, I think. So if we want
did
to
you
do that
find
in a couple
one?
weeks,
Okay.
we could do that. So
did you think you had one more of the physicist to get?
I do have one of those. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I do have that.
Bequeath that to
Pretty
him?
sure I do have that in the fridge. So, oh wait, did I bring? No, I just brought over.
One
I
of
brought
each.
over one of each. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I do. Yes.
Do you have any more of the orange?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have more orange.
That one also
orange.
Also delicious. Ooh, this still smells really good.
Well, like you said, this style doesn't really have like a lot of high note. No, it's just, I mean, it's got the bit, the tart goodness, and then it's aged in the footers.
It is already making my mouth water though.
Yeah,
Just
me
literally
too.
that sip, or that aroma, I should say. The smell.
The
sniff.
sip we took with our nose.
My nasal sip.
My nasal sip.
I mean, you smelled it? Yes, but I mean, I took a much more.
I drank with my nose.
I drink with my nose. You finish. Oh, yeah, that is still tart.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
Oh, that is.
Wood comes through a little bit more, I think. Then I
There
would
is-
have remembered. But
On the finish, there's like a little more of something there. Yeah.
a little burst of wood.
The wood that makes it good. Wow.
Whoa.
We're bursting with wood.
Burst.
Since we are having beer, an article came across my page today, so I was able to actually find it. I was talking about 2024 California beer sales and Pizza Port defying the craft brewery sales slump. So Pizza
Really?
Port, one of our favorite breweries that makes the same beer consistently because they just keep making the same thing.
And that's probably why they're defining sales. They
I
just keep
feel
doing
it
the same
probably
thing.
is. Only 4 of California's 10 largest craft breweries saw sales increases. Pizza Port was one of them.
Huh. We got in a new IPA from Pizza Port, their newest.
Shocked.
Yeah.
And that's their thing is like, I guess it said there, where is it? This article's a little goofy, but it's
If you
focused on selling world-class product at a fair price. That is what Pizza Port's whole goal is, it says.
And if you liked the last one, you'll like this one too. Because it's the same.
It's 90%
with a different
the
can.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're keeping artists in business, which is good.
Yeah.
Or
Did
their-
it mention
or
the
their own
other
artists.
3?
It mentioned one of them in particular that had even better growth. Would you like to pick out which one that was?
Is it one I know?
Yes.
California. Not slow as the brewery. Oh no.
No. I didn't mention, well, actually, it just said 10
Oh, was it
largest,
Russian
so they
River?
might not be, it was Russian River,
Okay.
9% increase.
Okay.
So they actually had one of the higher increases.
Yeah.
Firestone Walker was down. Gordon Biersch was down. Oh, they do have the other ones. Russian River, Pizza Port, BJ's Restaurants Incorporated,
BJ's Brew
I
House.
guess.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
and Sierra Nevada.
I almost guessed Sierra Nevada,
They were only up 2%.
but I
yeah, so
thought
the other
since
ones were
they
down.
were probably a higher one, that they would have a higher goal to get to.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if maybe they hadn't. But my retro shirt, huh, Lucky? Well, yeah, 9 years ago, I guess it is retro.
Lucky, how's it going? Good to see you.
I almost wore a Lucky shirt today, and then I was like, no, I'm going to go with the red, white, and blue and the Cubs. So.
Lost Abbey, which obviously is a smaller brewery, 164% sales growth. So,
Wow.
like I said, some of the smaller ones did a little bit better. Coronado Brewing saw the biggest dip at 11%, while AleSmith held steady. So,
Okay.
Anyway, just a few little facts. I saw that come across.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. It talked about Belching Beaver dropped 20% in sales. Ballast Point dropped 60%, which I don't even think about Ballast Point anymore,
Yeah,
so
I
that doesn't
rarely-
surprise me at
yeah.
all. Pizza Port, I guess, took over another brewery or took over something, a facility in San Marcos in 2023, which added almost 50% to its capacity.
Okay.
And then where was it? There was something about, there were, I think, 50 total breweries closed across the state of California last.
Wow, I wonder. It doesn't list them.
No.
I guess that's probably, rub salt in the wounds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could go look up that. Like I said, this is an
Yeah.
article from Axios. Mitch, how's it going? Good to see you. Two great looking fellas out here tonight. Oh my gosh, you're too kind. Right back at you.
Hanging out with a couple or us?
They're hanging out with a couple.
Oh, they're hanging out. Oh, all right. Okay.
They're hanging out with us, I think.
Okay. Well,
and we're
that's-
hanging out with them, so that's like a kind of that's
a
quad.
whole- that's-
That's quad of good looking guys.
Quad fellas.
Here. Quad fellas looking good here.
Yeah, this is good. What if this?
Yeah, that is pretty delicious.
Or maybe this is just social.
Also, one other thing too in the Discord, one crocodile mentioned this. He got this at Trader Joe's. Have you seen
A
this?
taste of Tokyo's bar scene.
I don't think it's Suntory, so it's not actually
Suntory.
Trader Joe's own, but that's where he got it.
Huh.
So it is
No,
like
I
a-
have not seen that.
Okay, so it is some sort of traditional Japanese, like it's kind of like a seltzer kind of thing.
Okay.
Talked about, let's see, tried one this evening, kind of like a Truly or similar hard seltzer, but 5% lemon lime, not very sweet. It looks like it says malt beverage all over it. So I
Okay.
think that's kind of what those are usually
Okay.
categorized as. Did not have an ingredient list. I looked everywhere. I even went to their website. Like I said, was hard to try and find ingredients.
Huh.
Like in nothing exact. And then I found it kind of like on a couple like random like sites, and I was like, I don't know if I trust this, but okay, because he was trying to figure out like what the sweetener was because it wasn't quite as sweet and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I've never been so flattered and confused at the same time. Accurate, yeah,
That was
accurate.
the first
I would agree.
title of the Led Zeppelin song. Flattered and confused.
Instead of dazed and confused, it was flattered and confused. Yeah.
And flattered and confused.
instead of into the outdoors, flattered and confused.
I saw, because I had my first 2 days of work after about 2 months off, and there were a few new things that I saw. One of them was there was a spiked spindrift.
A spiked spindrift?
Spiked spindrift. So
Oh, okay.
that was one of the things I saw. What else? The Guinness, the NA Guinness. I did buy a can of that.
Oh, okay. So non-alcoholic Guinness, is it like dark or is it the lighter?
It's in that dark can.
Is
So
it in
I'm
that? Okay.
Assuming they're going that direction.
I didn't
Fitz
know
said
if
it was pretty good NA beer, he said.
Okay.
So I might try that, or maybe we'll try that in a couple weeks when we're back, but I don't know if it's worth it for that. But so remember when I sent you the picture of the most recent bottle of Willet? I'd sent you a picture of the Michter's rye. Is that something you're familiar with? Or
I've had Michter's before.
The Michter's.
It's fine.
Rye. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's fine. That price isn't too bad.
Yeah, I heard it was a good, and you get an extra 20.
That's true.
But yeah, I wasn't sure. It was 47, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what
So-
it was, because that's usually, what is it, 90 some proof or whatever, or something like that, or was it 100?
Yeah, I didn't even look at the proof.
I don't remember what the proof was on that, but yeah, Michter's stuff is usually okay.
Okay.
The stuff that usually gets a little more talk is they have like a 10-year, they have like some other higher year like age stuff that gets a little more like
Okay.
kind of love, I would say. I don't think some of those get a little bit higher proof, but I don't think they get like super high in proof.
So we tried to. So we tried to have the, which you've already had, the Willet 8-year. You attempted to get that on Sunday.
I did attempt it, yeah.
We had
You can buy a whole bottle of it still, it looked
family.
like.
Yeah. Well, there were one or two there. I think.
Yeah, there were still 2
We
left.
should have said, hey, just let's open one of these.
Put it on Keith's tab.
Yeah. No.
I was like, Keith's
no.
wait a minute.
Wait, no, that's not what I meant. Drink here. It doubles.
Open it here. Oh my God.
But so we had, you started with something that was 13 year, I think, right?
Yeah, the Russell's Reserve 13
Russell's
year.
Reserve 13. And then we picked, what was it? Berries.
Oh, we took we had the
Berries batch or
berries, the
something?
berries batch. Yeah, the Booker's.
Okay.
Booker's berries batch.
And then we finished with sharing we
had the Woodford Reserve
Woodford's double-double.
Double, not just the double oak, but the double.
And it came with a In-N-Out burger. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like this Woodford Reserve animal style.
Double, please.
Beverage Brothers. Sam's, good to see you. Good to see everybody here this evening.
But
those were all really good. I think I was surprised how smooth the Booker's was, because usually the Booker, usually that one's a little more harsh, a little more kind of because it's unfiltered and all that kind of, like I said, usually that one's unfiltered, non-chill filtered.
That was the second one that was, kind of scary smooth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, at 125 proof too, because we were like, oh gee.
And the beer I think that may have been my favorite. Well, I guess we only had four beers.
Favorite beer was the one from out of Chicago.
The IPA, and then the stout was really good.
And the stout was delicious
those
too.
were
Both
really
of
good.
those from, what was it again? Phase 3? No.
Phase something.
Yeah, they were out of there wasn't Lake Forest, was it?
Lake Zurich.
Lake Zurich, Illinois. Yeah.
Lake of the Zurich.
That was really, really good. Those were very, very delicious.
It was nice. It was a nice gathering. I like the pizza.
Pizza was really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have grabbed another slice or two. I kind of had something that got involved in conversation. And also, I was like, should have grabbed more pizza, and it was there. I just didn't do it.
We took, I think it was one pepperoni and some cheese home. So,
that was really, really tasty. And you'd even created a full playlist and everything too, didn't you?
I did. Yeah,
didn't get to use it.
Yeah, my son and I collaborated on a birthday party 2025 playlist, and
okay.
Yeah, at first I thought, well, the speaker's on that end. Maybe we can put ours over here. And I was like, no.
They battle it out.
You'd have to
if you sit right in the middle, it would have been super
to
annoying.
Yeah, it would have been very confusing. So, but because we were just throwing different songs in there, and then all of a sudden I thought, I'm going to throw in the number one song from all of our family members' birthday. The song was number one on the day they were born.
I think that it's easy to look up because we're all born on the same day.
Yeah,
it was very easy.
Same year.
Look up the 1 year.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Oh, that's weird.
We don't live in Arkansas. Your family tree doesn't fork. I know where you live. But that is unfortunate that we didn't get to. I can't even think of what would be number one hits. Of when some of us were.
So do you want to ask a person and I'll tell you, or do you want me to name a song?
I wouldn't mind doing a couple of them. I'm trying to think of what that would even be. I have no.
You want to start with yours?
Yeah, I don't even know what would be said in the late 70s. What would be some of the hits?
Well, you're not in the late 70s. Oh wait, in the late 70s.
In the late 70s.
Okay, yeah,
I said, because you're talking Unfortunate Disco era and things like that. And like I said, and again, actually you mentioned before Creedence. Someone says Creedence out there. Before we started the podcast and Keith was mentioning this, I was like, are we talking UK charts? Are we talking the US? What are we talking? Because if this is the song that's going to define my life, I feel it should be something.
So how do you want to do it? You want me to name a song and you try to guess what family member it is?
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Or do you want to name a person and I'll tell you?
I think I just want to know what was number one when I was born.
Okay, not the Ski Low version, but I Wish by Stevie Wonder.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm good with that. Oh, I'm all right with that. That's pretty funky. I like that.
I can't remember. I must maybe it was Pocket. She's like, I wish I was a little bit taller. And I'm like, no, that's from 95.
No.
He's not that young.
Oh, that song. Isn't that Songs in the Key of Life?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great album. Okay, I like that. All right, I feel...
Yeah, you'll be...
I escaped there. I was worried it was going to be something like the Bee Gees came back around again. No, they're fine, but damn it.
But you were early 77.
Yeah.
As opposed to later 77 into 78. Yeah, you probably would have had some Bee Gees.
Yeah, probably would have hit some of that in there.
Long period of time.
What was on when you were born? What was your number one?
Frank Sinatra. Strangers in the Night.
You're not that old.
Strangers
But he was.
in the night.
This was an early Sinatra.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder, Andrew gives off similar vibes.
I'll see. Maybe there's something to the theory.
There could
the number
be.
one song on your birthday.
I do like some Stevie Wonder.
Portends.
I try and be smiling like he is all the time. Maybe that's it.
Strangers in the night. And there was
Sinatra
another
vibes.
cool. It was a cool tie-in. Then I think it was earlier in that week, or maybe it was. No, it was earlier in the week. I was watching a. Remember Bob Costas used to have a talk show later with Bob Costas.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And somehow I came across him interviewing Glenn Campbell in
I'm gonna say
1991.
Frank Sinatra.
No, Glenn Campbell played on that song.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And it was kind of funny because Glenn Campbell had his guitar there, and he talks about there's a thing when you play called a capo, which you put over like the neck of the guitar, and it can allow you to hit different chords and stuff like that.
Oh, I've seen. I never knew what that was called, but I've seen people use those.
It's called the capo, and he was talking about, well, this is how I was able to get these chords in that song. And he starts playing it, and he's singing it, and Bob Costas is like looking at him like, I got to tell you, Glenn, I'm a little uncomfortable with you. Something along those lines. He made kind of a joke that Glenn
awesome.
Campbell's singing "Strangers in the Night."
I still like Bob Costas.
Yeah, and it was from '91, and it was entertaining. So
that's pretty funny.
But yeah, I watched that. Yeah, Glenn Campbell, you find him throughout musical history. So
that's what Friends are for. Dionne Warwick and Friends at number 1 of '86. Is that okay? So Lucky's already thrown out what his was then.
So we know that Lucky was born in January of '86.
Okay, now
February
that's
of
just creepy
86?
that you know that. Are you tracking down Lucky again?
Of '86? No. Well, just because that's when that song was popular.
That's what friends are for.
Dionne Warwick, Elton John, Stevie Wonder.
Oh, there we go.
You guys share a Stevie Wonder commonality.
He just did for the whole year.
Oh, for the whole year. Oh, okay. All right.
If you want to really look it up, you can try and look it up by your birth week or your birth, whatever it was for the
the
birth
thing
week.
I had found, some site was just you put in your actual birthday, and then it actually told you the number one song on Friday, January 8th it actually gave you the date, the actual day you were born. So,
okay. Roll With It by Steve Winwood back in August in '88. There we go.
That was number 1 for 4 weeks. Roll with it, baby. Okay, very good.
Oh,
fun stuff.
Roll with it, baby. What about our parents? I can't even think of it like said that.
So
I would have thought that would have been Sinatra.
So they had the same number 1 because they were only born a week apart.
Right.
And I had never heard it until I listened to it after I found it.
Dizzy Gillespie.
And no.
I see trees of green.
That's Louis Armstrong.
Oh, okay.
Call me Louis Armstrong.
Just call me Louis Armstrong.
You can call me Red.
Take My Breath Away, Top Gun theme song, September of '86. There you go. All right, that's a good song. All right, Lucky. And also the thing we usually say to Lucky when we're gaming with him.
You take
my breath away.
It's true.
Sam, that's accurate.
At least from 1 year.
Paco must have every song ever made since every day is her birthday. Yeah, from whatever year she chooses.
So it's a song called Amapola. Amapola.
Okay, that sounds racist.
By
I'm just kidding.
Not I am a Pola. By Jimmy Dorsey. And
I've heard of Jimmy Dorsey.
Jimmy, it's like his band and somebody else is singing. So I don't know if Baker's ever would think she'd probably heard that song, but it was number 1 the day that both
like,
she and Dad
it's
were
followed
born,
my entire life.
Yeah. Amapola again. Curse you, Amapola.
Curse you. You've ruined everything. Lucky does take certain people's breath away, especially that KFD Mitchell. That's true.
That's why I had texted you last week to find out what year. I was pretty sure what year your wife was born.
Oh, okay.
But and you
what
confirmed.
What was hers then?
So hers was "Without You" by Nilsson.
By Nilsson Schmilson?
Nilsson Schmilson.
Okay.
I can't live
if living is without you.
Yeah.
Can't live anymore. I can't live. There we go. That's all I got.
Actually, and I heard that song on the way over.
You did? Really?
I did.
That's
it was
funny.
on. Yeah, left it on. And actually, it's funny. I told my son that because we didn't get to use this playlist, but I was listening to it on driving home from somewhere this week, and I was like, I said, "Damn!" I said, "Good call on this song, that song." I said, "Your uncles will love this playlist," and he's like, "Well, I'm sure we'll get to use it sometime."
Yeah.
Okay. Damn it.
Yeah, that's a bummer. We didn't get to use it.
Yeah.
Pocket?
Pocket. She's very happy with hers.
The ocean.
She'd probably love that. Of course. No, when you think of one of the best screaming songs of all time, what do you think?
Screaming songs of all time?
Well, there's some good screaming at the end.
That's not Tool. Let me think about it. Oh, the outro?
Yeah.
Screaming outros. Is it something from Journey?
You have to go back a little farther.
I know. Like, I'm trying to think of people that do some screaming. I just can't think of. Is it Van Halen?
No.
Okay.
You have to go back farther than that.
No.
Let's go back to the 60s. The Fab
More Than a Feeling? Okay.
The Fab 60s.
The Fab 60s.
The Fab.
Oh, is it Helter Skelter?
Oh.
We said scream at the end. They said the 60s. You said
okay.
Fab, so I was like, oh, it's the Beatles.
There we go.
Did you not lead me into that?
Paul McCartney screaming.
Okay, then it's Hey Jude then.
Yes, there you go.
I still like Helter Skelter.
Yeah, that's it.
Helter Skelter.
She's happy with that. You have to also think, was it released in a number one song? But
that's true. I don't know. There's a lot of things.
Put all these ingredients together.
There's a lot of ingredients in that. Yeah, I would say
More
so.
Than a Feeling. That's a good one, though.
That's a good one. Our
Slipped
brother
away.
then?
What's that?
Our brother then?
He's the Marvin Gaye version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
and someone mentioned Creedence. Sam mentioned Creedence earlier, so at least
but it's not
a tie into that.
Yeah, tie it.
Settle down.
Tie it.
Settle down.
Tie it. Hold on.
Wait. Easy. I said it was Marvin Gaye. I heard you. I was just saying they both did it. Trying to tie Chad into our conversation. That's a good song. I like that one too.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of good.
That one's the shorter version. So if you like a tighter version,
that's good. The Gladys Knight and the Pips version is good. They're all good because they're all so different. I think
that's true.
But I like them all. And if I think I have the year right. Sister-in-law.
Oh, okay. What is she at?
Because there's 5-year difference, right? So 64 is what I get.
Correct.
Okay. So she also has a Fab Four. That's her.
A Fab Four? Helter Skelter.
Yes, that's it. No.
That'd be great. That's just one. I was one sister-in-law. It was right there. Is it like that's probably got to be the I want to hold your hand the kind of stuff? Is that it? Okay.
That's it.
I was like, that's got to be those. Don't know if you saw, but Raid is 40 hours. I did finally see that. They finally tweeted about that. Yeah. About
Raid.
Time. I was kind of hoping it was going to be less. No. But yeah, like I said, I did see that they did the 48 hours. Like they confirmed that finally. Someone on Twitter. I couldn't get them to confirm it in the Discord, so at least they posted it there. That's fun. That would have been cool to go through, have those hit.
When I originally had done Brian's, it was Wild Thing by the Frogs.
Oh, okay.
And then I have Aubrey, I have our nieces as well.
Okay.
If you want those.
Yeah, I didn't even think those got to be yeah, obviously very new.
So and I have your son. Well.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's Nelly.
Oh God.
Hot in here.
It's getting hot in here. That's funny.
And then we so elder niece is Straight Up.
Oh, okay. By Paul Abdul. Nice. Okay.
And niece number 2 is Freak Me by Silk.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Sushi, how's it going? Good to see you, Sushi.
My son's was the Christina, I almost said Applegate. Christina Aguilera and Pink version of Lady
really?
Marmalade. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Okay.
So, and then we had my in-laws were, one was I'm Looking Over a Four-Leaf Clover.
Okay.
And the other was Begin to Begin.
I don't know if I know that one.
You may have heard that maybe in a movie or something like that.
Okay.
It's kind of a if it's a period piece from back then, it sometimes I could see it maybe in a Woody Allen movie, as, like Manhattan or something like that.
Okay, sure.
So anyway,
one of my older sisters was We Built This City by Starship. Oh, nice. That's a good
end
one.
Of 85. Okay.
It's going well. Sushi, we are having a conversation about the song that was the #1 hit during our week of our birth.
Yeah.
We were kind of going through that because, like I said, we had a family birthday get together last week. And a playlist had been created that didn't get to be used, but we still wanted to use the information for entertainment purposes. So yeah, it's been kind of fun, and some other people in chat have been throwing stuff in there.
I think that covers all of them.
The other older sisters was Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. Okay. Billie Jean.
83.
It's not my love.
Okay.
She's just
Not
a
that they're
girl.
83. From 1983.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not 83.
They're 83.
It's not that long.
That was
It's
so
not that
long ago. No. Feels like it sometimes. I'm
not sharing that. You are more than welcome to not share that.
Share the number one song.
That's right. Keith is the musical role. It's making it happen.
I just thought,
The Rolodex.
it's fun just to go through and make playlists anyways. But then I was like, I'm gonna do this. And threw them in there. Didn't get to use it, but at least we're using it here. So
we got something out of it.
yeah, we got something. And it's still there. We can listen to it because there were some good songs in that.
I need to actually should look up that. What do we think the name of that brewery was? Third Phase. I really want to look. I wanted to do that before I forgot. Oops.
Third Phase.
Is that right? Maybe that's not right.
There it is.
Phase 3
Phase
Brewing,
3.
Lake Zurich. Okay.
Phase 1.
Yeah. So if you guys can find anything from this Phase 3, their IPA that we had was fantastic. It was my favorite of the day by far. And then, like I said, the stout that we had from them too was also delicious. So definitely a big upset. Lake Zurich Brewery.
I have that.
Phase 3 taproom hours.
I have the
Hour beer.
email with that list. Let's see.
Oh, okay. Pixel, double pixel, E3 pills, a bushel of apples, strawberry chantilly.
We had full frame, Phase 3 full frame. And
Okay.
you and I had the HBD Oreo cream pie.
God, it was so good.
Yeah, that was good.
Ridiculous. My dogs was All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah since she's a New Year's baby. Oh my God. Light My Fire by The Doors. Nice.
Ooh.
Wow, that's a good one.
Wait a minute.
That's a good one. Mine was, what was mine? I said was I Wish. I Wish by Stevie
I
Wonder,
Wish,
which was
yes.
cool.
Wiki, wow. Well, no, not that.
And now you know to hold your fine sushi. That's awesome. That's a good one. I was worried about
Not as
mine
old as me.
because I'm like late 70s.
Yeah.
I'm like late 70s. I was like, oh no, it's going to be.
You were, in the early advent of the disco era.
Thank God.
But fortunately, you were pre-Saturday Night Fever.
Because
Because otherwise, your odds would have gone down quite a bit.
Yeah. That is a really good one. Light My Fire by The Doors. That is awesome.
It has to be the whole version, though.
So
Not that
7 minutes
edited
and change.
version. Yeah, need that.
No, it couldn't get much higher. Have you continued on your Apple journey of watching every single show you can in 3 months?
So, we're up
While
to
you have it for free.
like episode 7 or 8-ish of Shrinking. Love it.
Okay.
It's great. Don't worry, Harrison Ford will not disappoint you.
Oh, good.
I know that was one of the things you said.
Sometimes
you were
it's
worried
like he just is a lot of times grumpy old man these days.
and he is to some extent, but it totally works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's fine
No, I
because he's
trust you.
also a thoughtful, intelligent man as well. That I watched. I had started on one of our plane trips somewhere. I had started watching the show, the morning show, with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon.
I
and
remember
Billy
hearing about
Crudup
that.
and Steve Carell.
I heard kind of mixed reviews of that.
So I watched that first episode, and then I kind of stumbled across it the other night, and I watched 2 more episodes, and I haven't said no to it yet.
Okay.
But
you haven't
want
said
to
yes.
see where I'm still, we're still, checking things out.
Offers are being made.
But I like it so far enough to give it another episode.
Okay.
I watched an episode of Mythic Quest. Mystic Quest?
Mythic Quest.
Mythic Quest, yes.
Yeah.
That one, I could see if you're a gamer, you probably like it a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
because but I had a couple of chuckles in that.
Well,
And
I like what's his name? F. Murray Abraham.
Oh, the older guy.
Yeah.
Writing that. Yeah.
He's really, I liked
Yeah.
him and some of the other stuff too. Was
So
good.
it was, but I think it helps a little bit that I am at least adjacent to that, and with some of the terminology and things, and just and what going on there. But so I watched an episode of that. That has 4 seasons.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I think we watched like 2. I think is what we had watched.
I
So
was
yeah,
like,
I didn't even
damn.
know.
Like, okay. But so I've been exploring. I watched that. I told you that Steve Martin documentary. I finished that.
Yeah.
I would
Highly recommend.
highly
Is that
recommend
Apple
that.
as well, or is that Netflix?
That's Apple.
Okay.
Yeah, Apple as well. 2 parts. It was good. Very good. But I'm a huge Steve Martin fan, so
Yeah, that usually makes that a little bit more of
yeah.
another level.
There's and speaking of Steve Martin, there's in the morning show, the episode that I just watched, Martin Short's in it for this little short part, and he's actually the guy he's not playing himself, he's playing somebody who's like not necessarily a nice guy. At first I was like, oh, this kind of surprised me a little.
Yeah.
So anyway. This was another season of that coming out too, but so yeah, that's where I am with.
What is that about? Like a radio station or TV station?
Yeah, it's like there's this basically like a Today type morning show.
Oh, okay.
And it's Steve Carell and Jennifer Aniston are the team, and then and since that first episode I watched was so long ago, I can't remember, but Steve Carell did something that he's saying is consensual. That maybe other people aren't, but he's like sticking to that. Like, no, and this is like behind the scenes, and he's saying, but what? So
and it's been 3 years now.
Yeah. So he's kind of like fighting, but he's still trying to find his way with that. And then, so now Jennifer Aniston has to find a new co-host that they have to find.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
so
he gets kicked off the show or something, but
he's out.
Okay.
But he's still in there, and he's playing tennis with Martin Short's character.
Oh, okay.
And Steve Carell's like talking, at least I think this is where this is going, like that he's wants to like, hey, like he truly believes that what he did was not what other people are saying it is.
Okay.
And he wants to like shed light on that. So then he's talking with Martin Short, who's like a filmmaker, about, hey, I think we should get together and do this. But Martin Short's basically saying, well, yeah, I've been accused of that kind of stuff. And like basically saying, well, just because I did, and he's actually almost saying I did do that. and Steve Carell is basically like, we're not the same person.
Weird.
But you are actually a bad person. He actually said that to him. So I'm like, wait, Martin Short can't play characters like this.
This isn't right.
This isn't right.
He was on an episode of Modern Family at one point too. That was kind of funny, but he was playing like
Martin
a
Short?
an ad agency guy. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
he's like
'cause he was like Phil's mentor.
Phil. Yeah.
Steve Carell is a gem. I agree. Yeah, Steve Carell is very funny, and like I said, definitely needs to be preserved at all costs.
Have
for
you
sure.
watched anything?
Not really. I don't think we've gotten to anything else.
Speaking of Steve Carell, you could watch 4 seasons.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that. No, I started listening to the Amy Poehler's podcast again today, so I was listening to the Idris Elba one. I don't know if you've listened to that one at all.
No, I saw that was, and I know who he is. I don't know if I've seen him in anything. I know who he is.
Yeah, he was in The Wire. She geeks out about The Wire for like a little
Oh, okay.
bit. Which
Yeah,
I've
I
never
hear
actually seen that show.
I hear so many. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
no,
many people
and
talk
people say
about
to
that.
go back and still watch it and whatever. They
Yeah.
do a couple spoilers during there if you really care about not being spoiled by something. But
Okay.
I was kind of like, as they'd already said something, I was like, I'll see it at some point. Maybe I'll forget. But yeah,
that's another like HBO one though, isn't it?
it is on it. Yeah,
So
it was
that
originally on
one
HBO.
and then Sopranos and all these, I'm like, well, some of these I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I just don't have access to these.
Sopranos, I just don't have any interest in. It's
Okay.
so weird. Like again, I'm not saying like I know a lot of I just have no interest in Sopranos. Never seen The Wire either. I'm watching Blue Bloods currently. I've heard that like a lot of people like that show, but yeah, like The Wire is like that's one of those ones that's held up like in debates between The Wire and Breaking Bad, or The Wire and there was that other like kind of movie that's like that, or TV show that people compare to Breaking Bad. It's that one with Michael Chiklis. I always forget the name of it.
Oh, The Shield.
The Shield, I think. I think those 3 are like the ones that always seem to be wrapped up in different debates about how, and it seems like usually a lot of times The Wire, like is what they say is still the epitome of those kinds of shows or the filmmaking.
More so than Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's usually held up
Okay.
to pretty high regards. Sucker for law enforcement dramas. Maybe It's a Calling I Missed. I mean, who knows? Do you watch a lot of Law and Order? That used to be like one I was watching.
So that thing you have up on Untapped right there, someone was drinking one on May 25th or May of 25.
Global recent activity. Yeah, so within
But
the
maybe
last-
they just pulled it out of their stash.
same thing.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
all
because
right.
this has not been made since 2019.
Okay.
So. Does it say where? You said tap and bottle.
Well, no, it just said
Oh, I thought you said tap and bottle.
no. It said
specifically. Oh,
somebody
okay. That they drank it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Blah 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 is drinking a Frucht.
Mm-hmm.
A Frucht. Frucht.
A bunch of them actually in May of this year, so that's interesting. Funny. Trust me, it's not as exciting as TV. Mills, and you would know. You would know. OG Law and Order for sure. Yeah, I love the OG Law and Order for sure. Mills, it's good to see you. Good to see everybody here.
Yes, thank you,
I
everyone.
think we will take a little break. And so do you want to or do you want me to go grab that so you can just taste it quick and then we take the actual break and make the Yeah, but do we want to come back, sit down for 5 minutes and then go back and make a cocktail?
We probably don't have to do that.
Okay, so do you want me to just go grab it really quick and we just try it?
We don't have to.
I thought you don't want. Okay, you just want to try it in there, and then we talk about it. Okay, all right. We're gonna take a break, and we are going to make a cocktail. Let me get this off of the screen. We're going to be making.
Did you get more help?
That's close enough. I think it's in the ballpark.
Last week's was pretty close.
This is called the Army and Navy. Many recipes out there, like I said, all of them very similar. This one recipe is directly from Lieber and Company, which is where I have been buying these, or I have bought these couple syrups that we've used the last couple shows, counting today. Like I said, the grenadine one was quite delicious, so I'm assuming this one will also be an accurate representation. They have a whole suite of different things that you can order from them for your cocktails and stuff. # not an ad, just like I said, my friend had told me about them, said they were great, and so far I would agree. Like I said, it's the amount of recipes they have on there, and like I said, the ease of layout of their website. Again, along with the quality so far, I've been happy with. So we're going to try another one. So again, this is called the Army and Navy.
Well, the one last week you said was one of your wife's. She said it was one of your favorite.
That's scofflaw. Like my wife, literally, she's
Loved
I
it.
think it's about one of the best cocktails I've had, or that you've made, that we've had here. So, Bruery, my sister and brother-in-law are part owners, are debuting a peanut butter stout this weekend, but of course I'm working and can't try. Oh my God. They should save you one. My gosh.
They better.
They better save you a pour or a
Those
crowler of it or
bastards.
something like that. Because peanut butter stout, always delicious. All right. We're going to take a quick break and make a cocktail, and we'll be right back.
Made with real stout.
And we have returned with cocktails that look slightly different than that.
Very much like the picture that you have on the
screen.
the website, at the Lieber.com website, or Lieber and Company website. That, looks very similar to that. Not so much that.
Not so much that one. Yeah, I would agree.
But this color, which I don't know if you can... Yeah, you can kind of see that.
Kind of see down.
To me, that looks... It's one of the taste with your eyes first.
Okay.
To me, this says grapefruit or peach.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would not look at that and go, almond and gin.
Mm-hmm.
I would think, this is something,
Almond and gin. The color definitely, like I said, because there's lemon juice in there. There's the orgeat syrup in there, gin, London dry gin, and then what gives it that little bit of color is there is an Angostura bitter. There is a Angostura bitters and their aromatic bitters.
Yeah.
You could swap that around for different ones. Like I actually have an orange bitters that might be kind of interesting depending on once we've tasted the cocktail. This one is more the classic, so it's got a little bit of the cinnamon kind of spice kind of thing going in there. You don't put much. It's only one dash, like I said, per cocktail, so it's not overwhelming. Again, it's also something if you really don't like it or don't like that, you could leave that out.
And we tried the orgeat syrup by itself, definitely almond, but not overly so.
Yeah,
but
very good.
Yeah,
like it was
good.
really, really good because
Yeah.
it almost, like I said, I was commenting on that. It almost had like the shell or something. Was it like there almost felt like there was because the syrup was kind of thick. Like I said, obviously because it's a syrup. Like I said, there was almost like a weight to that. Like I was like, oh my God, is there like shell or it wasn't gritty, but it almost made me feel
made with real almond dust.
Yeah, it kind of felt like
made
that.
with almond shell shards.
But yeah, it was actually really good. Like it's not like a sip on it or anything like that, but it was a good ingredient.
Do we know how this drink got its name or where? I mean, obviously Army and Navy. Okay, I get it.
I have no idea.
Any history? Okay, that's okay. I didn't know if you'd read anything. I'm just wondering why it's called an Army and Navy.
Is there anything that comes up? Ordinary Navy cocktail is somewhat unclear, but the drink likely dates back to at least the 1930s.
Okay.
First mentioned in the 1937 edition of the Café Royal cocktail book, though without a recipe. The first complete recipe appears in David A. Embury's 1948 book, The Fine Art of Mixing Drinks. Embury considered the original recipe horrible and suggested his own variation. Okay. So there you go. Hopefully this is not the original recipe.
Let's hope not.
Hope this is the adjustment.
The botanicals of the gin come through and the almond, and that actually is a oddly
Yeah,
good
the
combo.
cinnamon's hitting me too.
Yeah.
Like I said that, like I
Yeah.
said, there's always the one that the bitters I have in particular, like I said, which I'm not as fond of. Once I'm emptied of that, I will probably go back and get like more of like a Picard's like bitters, like for that one or something a little bit more traditional. This one, even though it just is called bitters, like I said, it's from Fee Brothers. I just have not been like, I've liked all their other stuff. This one for me is just way too much more towards cinnamon and kind of clove stuff. Which
I
is
should
not
bring
bad.
over the Trader Joe one. I think it's very similar to this though, just for the heck of it, just to compare and contrast.
To the taste.
Yes. I think the lemon.
Lemon really.
I was going to say
comes through.
saves it, but it doesn't need saving. But the lemon brings it home.
Yeah, yeah. The fresh lemon juice definitely is strong in there.
Because at first it's like, wait, I don't know. Okay.
The lemon juice really brings all the components together. The gin in there is really nice, like that London Dry, that juniper, that floral is kind of there. I get the almond. Almond's kind of like in the mid palate like area.
Yeah.
It's like kind of it's also kind of like a little bit of another binder, but it adds just a little bit more weight
Yeah.
to all the other things going on. I actually don't mind the bitters in there that I was just kind of dissing on a little bit. Like I said, it actually works in there fairly
It does.
well.
No, it does. Absolutely.
Definitely wouldn't want any more of that in there. And then, like you said, the lemon juice doesn't save it, but it brings all those components together.
Yeah.
Like I said, that kind of natural lemon sweetness, but then there's a little tart there too. Like that's actually a really nice, flavorful, like almost kind of summery cocktail.
Yeah, something very different than other. It just seems very different to me, and probably because of the orgeat, which I've never had before.
Yeah,
so that's
I
why
had-
it's so different.
Had not really had that either. Like again, I'm sure it's probably been in something that I didn't realize at some point, but at least at my house, I have never had that ingredient and made anything with it. But there are some other cocktails recently as I have been trying to save them and trying to kind of do a little bit more of those on the podcast. Like I said, I definitely have found more roles, and they'll mention like, and some orgeats. I'm like, okay, I guess I need to get that. And it's like, it's been the first couple syrups between that and the grenadine. But Army Navy, a drink you have once a year, even though it's mediocre. It's okay. Thankfully, the drink is usually probably better than the football game.
I've heard that's a cool thing to go to that, be a part of that. I could see that.
That's really good. Yeah, the more I sip it too, I'm getting a little bit more of that almond kind of coming through as well. That's pretty tasty.
It's got a little bit of lemon there, like lemon pulp.
Oh, did
Good,
you? I
yeah.
should have double strained.
No, it's
I only
good. I
single
like
strained.
it.
I should
I
have
like
double
it. That's good. I
Pulp
like
can
it.
move, baby.
Pulp can move, baby.
If Lucky was here, he'd like that. Only our venerable leader, Virgil Hesperwhite's here to say, I'm over here. Over here.
Blind tasting.
Yeah, it was funny actually trying to do the AI generation for this picture. Because I was like, because the other ones I've usually been able to put in like, I need a picture of this cocktail, put it up against a white background, and then I like kind of mess with it a little, but have this or whatever. And usually it's kind of in the ballpark of like, okay, the ones I've seen, like, can you make the drink a little, I kind of start going through,
Right.
changing it. I think like Army and Navy just kept throwing it off, even though I said cocktail.
Just camouflage.
It was doing weird. Yeah, exactly. It kept doing weird split drinks that literally almost looked like a black and tan, but it was like blue and red, like weird thing. Like it was doing some really weird stuff. I was like, no. And I was like, okay, I'm like, try. And I can't remember what I finally got it to. I think I finally typed something literally like I was like, and this could have been just luck that it finally did a picture that was good enough. I was like, okay, that's in the ballpark. I wrote something like, I need you to Google Army and Navy cocktail. Looking at what the pictures you have seen, I need you to make a picture of the like Army like
Wow.
of this drink. Yeah, like I got like, and I don't know if I just then got lucky on third time's the charm of putting that, but yeah, I was almost like, this is what you need to look like. You look for this. When you've seen what that looks like,
Do some
I need
research.
you to make your own version of that. I'm like, I'd like this garnish on it. I always put like, I want it in a coupe glass. So like some of those things, like I said, it usually would kind of get right. But yeah, I was like, and then finally when I had it do that, then it did this. Cause the other one's like, it would actually write Army and Navy on the glass. Like it was, some of the things were so messed up. Like I should have saved them. Just maybe I should in the future be like, okay, here's try one, here's try two. Like, here's what it looks like as I slowly like.
So you couldn't use the picture from the Lieber website? Would it let you?
I
do
could.
that?
I've just been.
okay.
I've
You've
just
been having some fun.
Well, so here's the thing. Well, it's not only that. Like I always try and find something that I can do this where I can green screen it out. That's not going to be like. That's just gonna be-
okay.
And sometimes we use pictures that we don't do.
Okay.
That if we use pictures that we've taken or whatever else,
Okay.
which we've done sometimes. The cocktail is just kind of hard because we're not making them when I'm about to do the show, and like I'm not going to pre-make one. I mean, I guess maybe I should start pre-making one just to make sure I like the drink, and then we can
Just
talk
have
about it
some
later.
different liquids of different colors. Just get water, and then we'll just start adding some.
Yeah.
Okay, I need the I need the Pantone 421
Yeah, we
red
get up- oh my
drink. Let's
God.
get that liquid. Let's make, yeah.
The Pantone
You're just in there with
stuff.
your food colorings, just making.
Whoever thought we would have had to know Pantone stuff when you're working with coffee. That was wild.
I like that. We throw that
But
reference out
informative.
quite a bit, actually. So the Pantone.
Yeah, the
Pantone
Pantone. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, so it was fun. I don't think I saved any of them, but yeah, it was funny. I put that and it was, weird layered drinks. And then at one point, like I said, literally it wrote on the side Army and Navy. I was like, no, I didn't even say
Little
right
plastic
on
Army
I
man.
didn't say right on the glass. Yeah, that would have been. I knew I was in for trouble, but I was like, I'm going to try and see if I can get this to work. And yeah, it was
Well,
funny.
like they said, I need you to Google.
Yeah, I was like, you need to look. I can't. I don't know if I actually said Google or look up. Like, look up pictures. I need you to look up pictures of this drink.
And then get back
Then
to
I
me.
need you to make me Then I need you to make me a picture of that white background. No, like I said, this. Like I said, twist on there. Like I said lemon twist, but that almost looks more orange or grapefruit or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that color's not. But at least it doesn't say Army Navy.
No.
It's not blue and red and
yeah, at least
and
it
or
didn't say that.
camouflage.
And again, I already put it in chat, but like I said, if you guys want to actually see what the drink went out and check out that Lieber and Company website, like I said, I definitely have liked both of their things so far. They seem pretty reasonable. I'll definitely be ordering from them again. They actually have a sale going on right now. Again, hashtag not an ad. This just happens to be. They're having Christmas in July or something like that, where it's 20% off your order, I think. And they do have some like free shipping like things and stuff like that. So Lieber and Company, if you're listening, if you want,
Hopefully
if you want
they
to
should.
sponsor us, that would be great because we like your stuff so far. And we'd like to try other things. If you want to say like you should make this cocktail, here, send us this, we'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
We are
We'd be
not
happy to
against
do that.
trying other things.
You can clip the part out. And you can put it on your website a little bit. Yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh,
Of course
all
you
the
should
things.
do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course you should.
Of course.
Of course.
But maybe. I thought it was good on the first sip, and then I like it more and more with every
I do too.
sip after that
Yeah.
too. I think I'm getting a little. I almost think, even though it was good, we tried the orgeat. Like I almost think maybe that was coloring my palate initially, like on how much, because I didn't have any chips or anything like I said. So I wonder.
Oh, yeah.
I was not getting that as much and getting the other flavors, and then as I've had more of those flavors to kind of wash away that bit of syrup, like I said, I think I'm getting now more of the balance of everything.
Yeah.
But that's really good.
I was just still, like I said, the color of it was not taking me to that almondy gin place. It was taking me to something like with a more fruit forward. And so that so that's why my brain chemistry was like, when I drank that, I'm like, wait, oh okay.
Would
The
you
process.
want more almond in there? Because one of the recipes I found that I didn't use, because then I remembered like, oh, it's on, like I said, the side of the bottle and whatever else, had another 1/4 ounce worth of the orgeat in there. I believe everything else was the same, but that was like an extra 1/4 ounce. I don't think you need
No.
that. I think the 1/2 ounce, at least from what they,
I
is
get
perfect.
everything because I get the gin,
Yeah.
I get the almond, I get the lemon, and a little bit of bitters. So
Gone but not forgotten. Thank you for the follow.
nice.
I think that would have been a little wild. I think it would have been a little too, maybe start getting toward too much,
Yeah.
or like not keeping everything completely in balance.
Yep.
But yeah, that is good. And I think I mentioned last week, and I was wrong. Like I said, football doesn't start for like 2 or 3 more weeks, training camps. I kept saying like a week out. I don't know what I had seen was a week out, but like I think it's like not for like 3 more weeks or something like that.
Yeah,
Training
usually it's
camp
like
stuff.
mid-end of July.
Yeah.
So yeah. So okay. Yeah, we got a few weeks on.
Yeah,
that.
it was all of a
But
sudden
still.
it was after the podcast last week. All of a sudden I looked, and I was like, wait, why did and I think someone had said like some other like meetings or something were happening in like a week. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, I think there's some that get to start early. Like there's always some that can start earlier because whoever's in the Hall of Fame game or whatever, right? Have they announced that? They must have by now.
Yeah, it has to be, but
Yeah, whoever's in that always
Was it
gets
the
to have,
Bears
like an
last
extra
year?
week. It was.
Okay. Do we have high hopes for the Bears this season?
Higher.
Well,
I mean, I don't want to push it.
Yeah. But we have Caleb in his second season and the boy genius.
We have Ben Johnson. We do.
So,
It's pretty
okay.
exciting.
Should be good.
Should be good. Best offensive line we've had probably in like the last 10 years, probably.
And now we got the tight end from Michigan, right?
Yeah, Colson Loveland.
Loveland. I kept thinking Love Lady.
Love
That was
Lady.
the baseball player. The Cubs had a pitcher, and he's with the Mets now.
Named
He was
Love Lady?
Yeah, he was Richard Lovelady, I think. It's kind of weird because that could be Dick Lovelady. I think that was his first name. I don't know, but yeah.
That's problematic.
It is problematic. At least it's Lovelady. I know it's his last name, and he's playing for the Mets now.
Okay.
But Baker would remember him, I think, because that was just last year.
Lovely. Okay.
Yeah. Love be a lady tonight.
When is the
That's
All-Star
luck.
break?
The All-Star game is the 15th. So it starts that Monday. So the 14th is the
home run.
home run derby, and then they have like 4 days off, including it. So it's a more extended break than it used to be. But we got Rich Lovelady.
Rich Lovelady sounds more like a catcher. That's good, Mills.
So you got 2/3 of the starting outfield for the National League are Cubs.
Yeah, I saw that. We got PCA and
Kyle Tucker.
Tucker.
Man out of the way
dream.
for old Kyle Tucker. Oh, that's
That was Jeff Bridges, wasn't it?
yeah.
Playing, the guy that the car.
Right. The guy, he
Tucker,
created
a man in his dream.
Yep. And Michelle Pfeiffer sings. Oh no, that's Fabulous.
That's the Fabulous Baker Boys.
Damn, confused. Confused.
I'm so confused.
I'm confused.
Do they still do the thing where it's like the winner of that gets the...
Mm-mm.
Okay, thank God.
Thank God.
I've been so out of because I don't know, like that used to be one of the better All-Star games, and then it kind of like fell off when they kind of started doing that stuff, and I thought...
Well, that was the reason they did that, was to make it like it was worth something to the leagues.
Yeah, but then that was also then players didn't get to play in the game then too, because people like managers would be holding players back to make sure they had enough, because that was like because it wasn't the reason why it started to because it wound up being a tie because they went 2002 in like deep inning, like we don't need more players and we can't put anybody else back
They
out.
decided to keep it a tie, and then there was like I think it was 2008 was a really long game, I believe. It's
So now what is it now? Does it just rotate?
I believe it's who has the better overall record.
Oh,
which
they
is
actually
what it
went to the
should
right
be.
thing. Oh, good.
Yeah, that's what
okay,
it should be. Which was why it sucked. Like obviously we wound up winning, so that's fine. But
we'll take that.
it didn't. The Cubs won 103 games that year, and they had to be the only 3 games at home. So, but anyway, yeah. As you can see, though, it worked out all right. Worked out okay.
Worked out all right.
We got to hold on. We got 85 Bears and the 16 Cubs. Well, and you got the Bulls, but the Bulls in the 90s.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on.
The Bulls were the dynasty though. Like that's been kind of the best. Honestly, that's still like the best. Like I said, having 6 titles in whatever 7 or 8 years.
8 years,
like,
yeah.
8 years.
If only Michael wouldn't have dabbled.
Yeah.
One of the nights I couldn't sleep a couple weeks ago, I was watching. I'd never watched the Jordan thing.
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
Oh,
I'd never
it's so
watched
good.
that. And I saw like it must have kind of been toward the end because they were beating the.
You can watch it on Netflix.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it was on Netflix. I should watch that.
99% sure.
Because okay, if it is, I will watch that because it's just enjoyable to see that stuff. And they had Michael Jordan an iPad and he's watching. He's like,
it's so good. He's just laughing at other people.
That stuff, and
it's just so funny. I love it. Yeah, people are like, if I'd have been on Michael Jordan, or because it's like the glove or whatever, like Gary Payton, like if we'd have done this earlier, it would have been a different series. He's just like,
oh yeah,
that's
that's what I saw actually.
Yeah, he's like, I had no problem with the glove
because they won in 6.
He's like, he's great. He's like, but please,
yeah, because they won 3 in a row, I think.
They won
the first 3, and then that's when Carl made the big switch.
Yeah,
which I
took that personally.
George, I think that was
also that meme too.
George Karl was, I think, one of the people that when in '98 when the U of A they had to play, was it Utah, and Rick Majerus was the coach, and Rick Majerus I think consulted a couple of his NBA coaching buddies.
That.
I think one of them was George Karl.
It
Here's how you need to beat the U of A.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, really? That's what you. Fine. But I mean, obviously that worked. But yeah,
It was.
So watching that though, that was cool. But some of those scores of those games, 86-79.
Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding? This is all the score. But I'd forgotten that.
So there was
NBA
more.
there
There was
for
so
a
much
while.
more defense and
Yeah.
everything. I mean, that's why they always like joke. Like I said, obviously he wouldn't score like what people joke about, but like to think that Michael Jordan would have flourished in today's NBA, you were on crack. Like if anyone's like, he probably would. It's like you're absolutely high if you don't think he would destroy in the kind of ticky tack NBA that it is now. I mean, if he was allowed, he would put up like 40, like he would average like 45. Like it's not that part's not a joke. Like, that stuff is just so silly when people talk about it, anything otherwise. But
that was interesting. I'll have to look for that because
it's good.
I
I
would
mean, the
to
stuff
watch
on,
that.
I mean, like,
It
the
was
stuff with Pippen, like just all that stuff is super interesting. And
Yeah.
obviously as a Bulls fan, I remember, being, like I said, hearing a lot, like I remember when some of those champions, when they finished, like hearing it on the radio, like sitting, I remember where I was sitting in my car because it was finishing up, like, some of those games, like against Clive Drexler and stuff. I remember like where I was, like I said, so very, very, very meaningful. Bye. Hi, Frosty. How are you?
Frosty's saying bye already.
I know. He's hi and goodbye. He just comes in and he drops out. Hi and
Okay.
goodbye. Quick. It's the quick one. Drop in, drop out. What is it? Always leave him wanting more.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, the Costanza.
The Costanza. Always leave him wanting more. But yeah, like I said, just such good stuff. But yeah, it's very funny. Obviously, it's swayed obviously toward the Bulls and like their point of view or everything. But it's
and we know how it overall ends, so that's good.
Yeah, that's also good too.
It's like I don't mind watching the documentary stuff on the 2016 Cubs because I know how that ends. It's good. It's fine.
know.
I'm fine with it.
Forgot about saying I would run the witness with Jav, so rushing through dinner. Oh my gosh, Frosty, get that done. You were about to have a super
Run the
fun
witness. That
experience.
sounds very legal.
Run the witness.
Sounds very court.
There's a band, Run the
courtroom.
Jewels. That was what I was thinking of.
Run the witness.
Rushing through dinner. Don't rush too fast. You can always eat while the explanation is happening if it's a teaching witness. That would be the best plan of all, for sure. All right, so no podcasting next week.
Correct.
No podcasting the week after that because of Destiny
There's
things.
a lot
and
of things and stuff going on.
Yeah. I already have another cocktail, I think, lined up. I talked to you about that before the show started, so I've got another cocktail already in the works.
Okay.
What other kind of things are we going to keep going through Keith's fridge, or are you then you're a couple days back to Trader Joe's, or I was like, oh my God, there's a world of things that have opened up to me that I cannot wait to share.
Yeah, there's some wines that I might want to delve into. I think we're going to go wine. If not, I will look through the fridge. We'll find something else.
We'll find something in the fridge.
We will continue our
continue
trek,
the
our
fridge-
quest.
The fridge
It's a
journey.
quest for fun. I mean, no, it's a quest to get through the fridge fun. So
quest for fun.
yeah, but if not, probably I would say wine.
Wine or the
Wine
the
or
fridge.
more fridge.
Just
Yes.
a CP, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, so if it's a CP, you still might have time to just sit there and all conversation is going on. You never know. But yeah, so that'll be in a couple weeks. Let's see who we're going to say hi to. Man, I wish I had a little bit more of this cocktail.
I have a very little bit.
I got a tiny little.
Tiniest of bits. Just make some and I'll take them for the road. Oh, wait, no. No.
Wait,
no. No, I'm not going to do that.
Never. Let's see. Who should
But
we
you're
decide to-
even though we're not here next week, you're still going full force.
Yes,
For
I
a
will still
couple
be here
weeks,
next week. Like I said, I should be here tomorrow for a little bit, even though it's 4th of July. I think I'll probably come in and hang out for a little while. What else? And then, next week, pretty normal schedule other than the no podcasting. And then off a couple days the following week, Monday and Tuesday, back late Wednesday. So that should be fun, but that'll be all brand new Destiny stuff happening, new raids, all new kinds of things going on. It's going to be a lot. It's going to about to get very, very busy. Very
hot
very
in
busy.
here.
Getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. All of those things. Actually, wait, I should probably check. No, he's not. Damn it. Oh, we could have done that. Now it's not going to happen. Have a good evening, guys. You too, Baker. Have a
Thank
good
you,
rest
Baker.
of your evening as well. We are going to go
Major
say
selection?
hi. Yeah, we're going to go say hi to Mr. Dan Finity. He is doing some Destiny things and stuff. Looks like he is trying to finish Eternal. Oh my gosh, not trying. He will succeed, I'm sure. He's goofing with that subtitle. There's no way. Yeah, let's go say hi to Mr. Dan Finity. He is absolutely fantastic and a wonderful human being. And those are the kind of people we like to support around here. I will be back tomorrow. You'll see him in a couple weeks.
I'm going to rest up
together. Yeah, get your hammy rest up. Get everything good to go.
That's right.
Perfect. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Good night.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you.